इन तीनों में से कोई सी भी एक पाइल आपको पिक करनी है। ऐसा हो सकता है कि कलर्स के चक्कर में या किसी पर्टिकुलर भगवान के चक्कर में आपको लगे कि अरे पाइल तो हमें यही वाली चुननी है, मगर अगर आप आंखें बंद करेंगे, ब्रीद इन ब्रीद आउट करेंगे, तो शायद कोई और पाइल हो जो आपको अपनी तरफ खींच रही हो। जो पाइल आपको कंटिन्यूसली अपनी तरफ खींच रही है, आप प्लीज़ वही पिक करें। टाइम है तो ऑफकोर्स दोनों पाइल्स देख सकते हैं। Hi, all those who have selected the first pile, which is a picture of Mohini Murti, this is your reading. And what this card is, I will explain this card particularly in the end, because I've already taken out your other cards here with me. And I think once I've given you all of those messages, then tying it back to why you got Mohini Murti, I think it's going to make a lot of sense. So first thing that I want to ask, some of you who have picked this pile, is your birthday also falling in the month of February? Because while I was shuffling and while I was shaking the cards, I was just getting that feeling. And another very strong feeling that I kept getting was that some of you could be carrying numerologically your life path number either being 2, or you could be born on a birth date, which when added adds up to a 2. So suppose you could be born on 2nd, you could be born on 11th. So that was also just one of the messages that I was getting. But in case none of these two things resonate, that does not mean that this pile is not for you. The message that I just shared, of course, is for very select people. For them, it's 100% confirmation that this pile is for them. Okay, so what's happening in February? I also want to ask this question to people who have picked this pile, all of you. You did not feel like Jan was a great month, right? Like you just felt like Jan just came, it was slow. How it went, you still have no idea, or how it's going. Like you're pretty clueless about what to actually dissect January as. For you, January just feels like a transition, like a shift, that okay, we were just waiting for things to happen and I was taking it slow. Let me know if this part resonates with you. So coming on to your February reading, I do see some of that energy is going to continue in February. And why is that? Because the mind is very active, and I think that also must have been an issue in Jan. Mind is thinking too much about the future. It's thinking about aspirations, it's thinking about wanting fame, status, wanting to be recognized. Mind is dreaming a lot. Mind is making you think a lot of what ifs into the future. It's all here, okay? But while that is happening, mind is also probably crippling you with fear, with questions of, but is it even achievable? But will it ever happen? Will I just keep on thinking about this? But will I be ever able to take action? So you had a very active mind, and I think you might be able to resonate with even with this part even now. And in February, somehow this energy is going to continue, where your mind is going to be extremely active. And you know what they say, an overactive mind is actually not the best thing, because you are supposed to see things from a very calm perspective when your mind is neutral towards everything. And also, just your mind being active is not as helpful unless you're actually putting that into action. And what I kind of see here is that the action is going to be more like that, how things happen in your life. कुछ एक्शन वैसा होता है ना कि वी डिडंट हैव टू रियली डू एनीथिंग, हमें कुछ करना नहीं पड़ा, अपने आप लाइफ में या कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी आ गई, या मतलब अपने आप हमें लाइफ जिस दिशा में लेकर जा रही है हम वैसे जा रहे हैं. बट ऑल्दो we would like that if we could take charge, we would steer things around maybe 180 degree, So maybe if life is just taking us like this and we're like, chalo theek hai, jo ho raha hai अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है, we are blessed or whatever, but अगर हम कोशिश करें, अगर हम अपनी माइंड को काम कर लें और थोड़ा एक्शन में ज़्यादा ले आए, तो वी माइट बी एबल टू डू अ लॉट मोर, ब्रिंग इन अ लॉट मोर टू अस. ओके, so that is going to be your overall retrospection of February, I would say. Because जो मैं बता रही हूँ, आप फील तो करोगे ही करोगे. You would just feel that your mind is taking you into these dreamy lands and dreamy states. It's making you question, maybe the bigger questions of life also. कि but ऐसा क्यों हुआ? Why this happens in life. आप शायद खुद को भी काफ़ी क्वेश्चन करो. आप काफ़ी इंट्रोस्पेक्शन मोड में जाके you would want to know a lot of things about yourself also. कोर्स करेक्शन भी नहीं बोलूँगी मैं, क्योंकि मुझे थोड़ी सी ना यहाँ पे ड्रीमी, डिल्यूशनल, सपनों में रहने वाली, थोड़े ख्याली पुलाव वाली एनर्जी ज़्यादा आ रही है. तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि ऐसा भी नहीं है यू वुड बी कोर्स करेक्टिंग योर सेल्फ. इंस्टेड यू विल जस्ट फाइंड answers however you want to hear things or however you want to see things. Okay, so that is going to be your overall mental or emotional energy in the month of February 2024. Now coming down to few things, when we look at your work or anything to do with your career or your studies, I do see some sort of change happening, either relocation, some opportunity coming from some other city, some other place. Honestly, जब मैं पायल शफल कर रही थी तो even before certain cards had come out, मुझको बहुत strong energy global opportunity या कोई abroad से opportunity की आ रही थी. So that also might be relevant. If not global opportunity, it might be a company that is at a global level, or it might be some sort of a business contract or working with a company that is a global company. So there is a little bit of MNC abroad energy in this pile when it comes to career. There's an energy of shift. If you have been planning to transition your career, move from one field to something else, move from one job to something else, this is going to be a great month for you. And I think काफियों को इस month में job शायद secure भी हो जाए. Even if you start hunting out in this month, I think by the end of the month or something, you would have a secured job with you. Money would be good at whatever next you do. I don't know if this is a period for appraisal for some of the industries, but even if it is a period of appraisal or promotions or some sort of bonuses, you would be getting your due. Okay, so you would not feel that you are underpaid or you're not happy with what you're getting. So that's going to happen. If you have been planning to start something on your own, or if you're in a business, then instead what I see for these particular people is that again, it's time to get out of thinking and just planning. It's time to now put things into action. And I think what you're lacking is the capacity to take risk and maybe play also, like a little bit of joyfulness and risk. In your head, maybe, you have just told yourself that the stakes are too high, the stakes are too big. Maybe they are not. Maybe you can actually take few risks in your life. My cards are at least saying that this is the time to take few risks. Of course, calculated risks. Nobody wants to be stupid. Nobody wants to hamper their confidence by doing something wrong. But it's time to take risk. It's time to take action in case you are in your own business or you're planning to start something. And once you start doing that, then the clarity around finances would also come to you, because I do see that being somewhat of a problem here. If you're in your own thing or if you're a freelancer, you might be wondering, how will finances pan out, or where will I get the financial support? You are not doing enough to show anybody around you or the universe that yes, you're serious about it. Once you do that, everything else is slowly going to iron itself out. That's all I have to say, especially for the month of February, because the month is anyway, I'm not saying month is negligent, but it's too short, to be taking any to have like carved out a complete new decision for yourself. But at least lay the foundation, lay the important steps that are needed to move ahead. Okay, now 2 cards that I have here that I would like to talk about is, first is the card of 12th house and second is the card of moon. See, what I'm seeing is that too many emotions and too many questions around yourself, around your life, around people around you, okay, which I've already spoken about in at length. So now, what you need to do, one advice that is there in the month of February is, instead of being defensive, learn to be defensive at the right places. Pick your battles right. Like, suppose if you're being criticized for something and you know that's not true, maybe that becomes your battle. But if you're being criticized and that you also know partly is true, maybe it's all right to accept it, you know. It's all right to accept and actually see the feedback for what it is. So, that is one advice that I would tell you, because I do see this to be slightly challenging of a month for you, you know, where you would have uh, stronger reactions to everything. The feelings would feel a lot more stronger, whatever it is that you're going to be feeling. The lows would feel extremely low. So I would want you to be a little bit cautious. That's one thing. Second thing, it is important that you invest some time in some sort of charity work. So, like, you know, okay, now, you know, thankfully, we are living in times, you know, where we don't even have to plan out the complete charity ourselves. We can simply ring up a few places and they would already have some sort of a program that, you know, आप किसी स्कूल को रिंग अप करो तो कभी कभार वो कहता है, कोई ऑर्फनेज को रिंग अप करो तो यू नो दे टेल यू कि आप बस हमें इतने पैसे दे देना एंड यू कम जस्ट फॉर द सेवा, खाना वाना हम कर देंगे. तो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ इन्वॉल्वमेंट इज डेफिनेटली नीडेड. ओके. Another thing which I'll reiterate is that definitely some global opportunity or some large institutional opportunity is going to be coming your way for sure. And definitely something to do with abroad or something to do with foreign. I also feel that, you know, some of you now, you might simply be wanting to go abroad or wanting to move to some foreign country, and I think that feeling might be just getting stronger in the coming month. You might just feel that where you are is not the place for you anymore, and you just want to move beyond your existing city or your existing place and see what's out there in the world. So yes, that's another message that I have. Then, coming to, I've already spoken in length about emotions, but still for few of you, you know, there is a slight message here about accepting your creative, emotional, feminine, maybe sensitive side. I don't know why this message is here, but maybe you're being very harsh on yourself. Maybe you're not liking not being happy or being in this melancholic mood. So you need to be accepting of your emotions. It's okay. We all have those days, right? The next message that I have here is, especially for people like who are married, it's going to be a wonderful, blissful month for marriage. Your partner is going to take up a lot of responsibility off your plate. They're really going to be helping you quite a lot, and you would feel that your partner is really trying their best to ensure that you are given that space and time to process whatever emotions and 30 other things that you're going through. Okay. The other message that I have here is that for some of you, there could be somebody who could be interested in you in the month of February, especially if you're single. And at least my cards are saying that it would be a good idea to explore it, to take things forward. Of course, nobody's going to decide within a month if they're the partner for you or not, but at least be open to the idea of love. That's going to be very important, especially if you're single. All those who are in a relationship, I see it actually being a very, very good month. You know, I think you might do like a lot of joyful activities together. You might go out on more dates together. February is also the month of Valentine's, right? Of course, it's going to be a lovely Valentine's for all those who are in a relationship for this particular pile. And also people who are single, if you have someone who just wants to take you out at that time or something, I would say don't overthink it, just go with it, you know, like just to make yourself feel good maybe. Because sometimes when people are asking for such things, they also want to make themselves feel good, you know, so it's going to be a win-win situation for both of you. One message that I have here is, dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachment. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed and I'm open to receive. Okay, I just want to say something. It's interesting, you know, before I sat down to actually decide that okay, ठीक है, I'm gonna make this reading today and I'm gonna sit with it. Randomly, I was just thinking that I don't know, but usually it is like love reading, especially for people who are single, unless it's absolutely about marriage or finding that one partner. But when it comes to like finding somebody for commitment, relationships, they almost never come true. Okay? And I don't know why this thought popped into my mind right now. I can't really see how I'm going to connect it to the message. But just remember that there is genuinely a plan, a divine intervention that needs to happen when it comes to love, and that also happens many a time when we are open to it also. And it's interesting because just yesterday only I was having this conversation with someone. She is a 40-year-old woman. She has not been able to find anyone to date, to marry for the longest time now. And then we were kind of exchanging notes, and I was telling her about my other friends who are also in their 40s and how they are also not able to find someone and they genuinely seek it. And she just said that, what I have realized over the years, that you actually need to be very open to love. You need to be very open to the other person that you're meeting. You should not have to judge them too soon, and you should really want love. And I genuinely think that's truth, because I do have couple of examples. I'm not going to bore you with those in my mind, where I know few people who were not initially very fond of their partner, and this was a partner who was completely trying to woo them, but eventually once they caved in, they are genuinely in the happiest marriage. So I think openness to love is something that's going to be very, very important here. And for few of you, I'm also getting this message that you kind of need to undo your conditioning or your mindset in regards to how the opposite gender treats you. Suppose if you're a guy, maybe you've seen like, oh, women are not usually kind to me, etc. Like I saw my mom, she was like this, I'm not too sure. So you kind of need to change that mindset. If you're a woman, you may have been previously in some sort of a bad relationship, or how you have seen your father. So you need to also change your perception to love. You need to be very, very open to it, because there's definitely scope of people showing interest in you in February, and if only you would allow. Now the other message that I'm getting is resting would become very important. And पता नहीं क्यों मुझे ना बार बार ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं बोलूँ कि मून साइकिल बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होगी. आप नोटिस करना, शायद जिन लोगों ने पाइल करी है ना, उनका मूड ना मून के मूड के अकॉर्डिंग काफ़ी चेंज हो रहा होगा. न्यू मून या फुल मून टाइप पे थोड़ी एनर्जी आउटबर्स्ट ज़्यादा होता होगा. वेनिंग एंड वैक्सिंग पीरियड्स में ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपका मूड फ्लक्चुएट करता हो. तो रेस्ट की बहुत ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि ना माइंड बड़ा बॉग डाउन रहेगा थ्रू आउट दी मंथ. माइंड ना बड़ा बहुत कुछ जानना चाहेगा, बहुत इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करवाना चाहेगा. अच्छा, उस सारे क्वेश्चंस के लिए जो आपको आ रहे होंगे, चाहे आपको आंसर्स पता हो, एक्सेप्ट करना, फिर उसको लेकर आगे बढ़ना, इट्स ऑफ कोर्स अ वेरी एग्जॉस्टिव जर्नी. तो यू विल फील वेरी एग्जॉस्टेड इन दिस मंथ. आई टेल यू टू टेक गुड केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ. Also, this is going to be a month when eating warm foods is going to be very important to your body. I don't know why I'm getting this message, but if you're somebody who eats cold breakfast, or usually like has a lot of salads and cold sandwiches, maybe this is a month where you keep it in mind that you have warm food, warm sandwiches, warm salads, warm breakfast. Move your cold coffee with a cappuccino. I think that's going to be very important for you this month. Taking in soups is something that's going to be very, very nourishing and nurturing for you this month. I know it's a weird as fuck message. I have never given a message like this, but I'm getting it, so I need to tell it to you. Now, the other few messages that I have here is that overall expect fluctuations in mood, and for that, just keep a lot of strength within you, okay? Mental strength is going to be very important to get up and to do it. Get up and do it. Get up and do it. Just remember this in your mind. You need to get up, you need to do it. You need to get up, you need to accept, and you need to do things. So maybe what you can do is, maybe you cannot overwhelm yourself in this month with 30 things, because it's like 29 days or whatever. ऐसा नहीं है कि हर दिन कुछ एक करना है, but जैसे वीक में मुझे 2 tasks अचीव करने हैं, towards all the bigger plans and the bigger things that I'm thinking about. I think that's going to be very important for you this month, because if you don't do that, I think this month might be pivotal in further strengthening your own image in your mind. अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है कि यार आई हैव दीज प्रॉब्लम्स, आई एम नॉट लाइक दिस, मैं ऐसी क्यों नहीं हूँ या मैं ऐसा क्यों नहीं हूँ, इस मंथ अगर आप अपने आप को थोड़ा सा स्पेस एंड थोड़ा सा पुश, दोनों का बैलेंस रख के नहीं करोगे ना, तो वो फीलिंग्स आपकी स्ट्रॉन्गर हो जाएंगी. एंड वाई डू यू वॉन्ट टू लिव विद द नेगेटिव सेल्फ टॉक, राइट? सो you need to keep strength, you need to keep focused, and you need to be patient towards yourself. And it's very interesting, पता है मैं जब भी इस वाले कार्ड को देखती हूँ ना, मुझको ना ऐसे वॉर सीन पूरा याद आता है, ठीक है, महाभारत का सीन. तो which also means that things have to move with strategy. And strategy is not always doing 30 things and overwhelming yourself. Strategy is sometimes like that, you know what, just these 4 things this month, and this is the only goal I'm going to achieve. So I think doing things like that and keeping a very hard check on your emotions, self-regulating your emotions, is going to be extremely important. I'm also again getting the message that hydration in the entire month is going to be very important in different forms and formats. Which again is bringing me to the fact that, you know, even if you need to increase more soupy stuff in your diet, you need to take in more dal, soups, curries which are more water based, I think do that. Water is going to be very important for you this month. Hydration is absolute necessary for you this month. Now coming on to the last card that I have here, which I said I'll tell you in the last. This is Mohini Murti. पहले कार्ड पढ़ूंगी फिर समझाऊंगी. अगर इस कार्ड को देखा जाए, मोहिनी मूर्ति, और इसको बहुत सिंप्लीफाइड वे में समझा जाए, इसका सिंपल मतलब ये है कि हम अपने आप को अज्यूम कर लें अपने माइंड में एक इतना अट्रैक्टिव, एक मैनिफेस्टर पर्सन कि हमें मालूम है कि अगर हम भगवान से, यूनिवर्स से, हम जिस भी एनर्जी में बिलीव करते हैं, हम जिस भी फेथ में बिलीव करते हैं, अगर हम उनसे कुछ मांगेंगे तो हमें मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. अच्छा, अगर हमें कुछ मांगना है और हम सीधा मांगे जा रहे हैं, बट वी डोंट नो हाउ टू रिस्पेक्ट द पर्सन दैट वी आर आस्किंग दिस फ्रॉम, हाउ टू गिव इट बैक टू देम, हाउ टू एटलीस्ट से आवर ग्रैटिट्यूड, तो देन वी विल नॉट गेट इट, राइट? बिकॉज देन दिस अट्रैक्शन बिकम्स, this manifestation vibe becomes more superficial, more selfish. So I would tell you that at least in the month of February, अपने माइंड को थोड़ा कंट्रोल में रखने का तरीका ये है that, you know, you tell yourself that no, you're genuinely very lucky, you're blessed, you are extremely attractive to the universe, and that's why universe always blesses you with the finest. And then while saying that, you have to say your thanks for all the things that are there in your life. Okay, some blessings that are here. It's interesting, you know, I'm getting this message now. If you guys are in a relationship or married and for a very long time your sex life has not been very great, I think February is when you're going to be reviving your sex life. It's going to be good. Another message that I have here from the blessings only, that you might be able to see people who are actually not right for you or who actually do not care for you. You would get the perception to see through tricksters and cheats. You would understand that, you know, a healthy brain and a good mindset is generally and genuinely beyond all superficial materialistic aspects. Okay, मतलब आपको ना ये समझ आएगा कि मैं एक अलाइनमेंट विद यूनिवर्स में होने का क्या मतलब है. और मैं ये नहीं कह रही आप हो जाओगे अलाइंड इन दिस मंथ, यू विल नॉट, बट देन आप शायद क्वेश्चन करके धीरे धीरे समझने लगोगे. सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. एंड लास्टली, I think you would finally understand when it's important to give preferential treatment to something or to somebody. I think आपको ना शायद अपनी लाइफ में ना थोड़ा बैलेंस करना आ जाएगा कि what or who is truly important, what needs to be prioritized first and what's need to be prioritized second. This is both in regards to people and also, you know, when we said कि हमें एक strategy बना के आगे चलना पड़ेगा to achieve our goals. So I think it's also in regards to that कि 30 चीज़ें करनी है बट 4 क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है या 2 क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, बस अगर वो 2 हो जाए इस महीना, देन आई एम गोइंग टू कॉल इट अ गुड मंथ. So that is going to be important. So yes, that's it for you, pile number 1. Let me know how the reading resonated with you. And please do leave a comment below if any part of it resonated. I'm trying to grow my channel, so your comments and your likes really help. Bye. Pile number 2. If you chose the card of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then this is your reading. And very interesting you chose this card, because the succeeding cards also that I have are all about love. And if you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's one of the biggest teachings to all of us was believing in the cosmic love, believing in the divine love. But I'll explain that card to you in the end. First, I'll just come on to the first few quick messages I got when I saw all these cards and while I was shuffling the deck. The first message that I got is that something to do with friendship. First is a predictive message that some people are definitely going to be making new friends in the month of February 2024. Or some people are reconnecting with certain friends in February 2024. And this reconnection I also see due to a relationship having gone bad. Please, excuse me. So what I also see is that some of you could also be dealing through either a breakup or maybe some sort of discord in your relationship. Majorly though, I'm getting breakup, okay, as a message. And if not a breakup, if you're married and like there's no such thing as such, then there's also a scope that you could be having some sort of marital discord, difficulty understanding each other, or you could be questioning a little bit about is just having a partner all that one needs in their life, because you are likely to be a little bit more expressive, conflicted about your emotions, and maybe you need more people around, okay? And also for people who are single, I'm kind of getting this message that people who picked this pile and who are single, they may have been really single for a very long time, okay? And I think they are completely tired of being single now. And then hence again, the message that we have from the first card of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes important here, which is that believe in the cosmic love and in divine love. Believe in the love with yourself. Believe in love, the energy of love, and the fact that right things will happen at the right time. Okay, so those were just the first few messages I had for this pile while I was taking a glance at the cards and while I was shuffling. Now I'm going to come on to your reading step by step. So the first 2 cards that I have here which is Sagittarius in 11th house. Now, talking about the energy of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire sign. It talks about goals, it talks about achievements. It's also about flirting a little bit. So I don't know if somebody needs to hear this message of being in that flirtatious energy, or they themselves have that aura that, when they must be out somewhere, it is people who want to like come and flirt with them, come and chat with them. And generally you may have like a very inviting aura, and because of which there is a strong chance that your circle of friends is going to increase, or your associations are going to increase in this particular month. The other few messages that I have here is that see, there is something definitely happening on the romantic or the love front, okay? And what I see happening is not like somebody coming in your life or things changing. I actually see it more from a wisdom or an awakening point of view. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अभी तक मेरी जो परसेप्शन थी ना रिलेशनशिप्स, रोमांटिक लव, पार्टनर को लेकर, वो थोड़ी सी डिस्टॉर्टेड थी. And वैसे भी ना, frankly, in today's age and time, the idea that having a partner, a romantic partner in your life is the first in the matrix of priority, that's a very flawed idea, It doesn't survive like that in today's age and time. In fact, if anything, your social needs and your other sort of needs, meaning the need of a community, need of more people around, is something that is more important. तो मुझे लग रहा है एटलीस्ट लुकिंग एट द कार्ड्स, लव को लेके ना या प्यार को लेके ऐसी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें होंगी जो माइंड में थोड़ी सी डिस्टॉर्टेड होंगी फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. हम एक पर्टिकुलर परसेप्शन से चीज़ें कैरी आउट कर रहे होंगे. एंड दिस इज़ अ मंथ वेयर इट विल बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जहाँ पे ना यू विल जस्ट हैव अ बेटर understanding of where you were going wrong or what is it that you did not understand right. Okay, I'll quote a few examples, and these are just examples, they're not part of the reading, so this is just for you to understand what could be wrong. A kabhi kar hota hai that we were in relationship with somebody, and because he was so in love and they were so good on certain aspects that we ignored their bad aspects, which were maybe non-negotiables for us, or they were red flags for us. बट हमारा ब्रेकअप हो गया है, बिकॉज मुझे यहाँ पे ना कार्मिक उसका भी कार्ड आ रहा है, तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि मे बी किसी का ब्रेकअप भी हुआ है इस फाइल में. एंड नाउ दैट द ब्रेकअप इज हैपन, वी काइंड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंड दैट वेयर वी वेंट रॉन्ग. तो फ्रॉम दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द फर्स्ट विजडम दैट कम्स टू अस फॉर आवर लव लाइफ, फॉर आवर रिलेशनशिप्स, कि कैसे मुझे नेक्स्ट टाइम से किसी ऐसे पर्सन को एंटरटेन नहीं करना, या मुझे कौन कौन सी चीज़ें स्टार्टिंग में ही इग्नोर नहीं करनी है, एट्सेट्रा एट्सेट्रा. ओके. सेकेंड इज़ दैट इफ़ यू हैव बीन सिंगल फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ के लिए वो भी आ रहा है, तो कहीं ना मे बी आपकी लाइफ आपको बार बार पुल करती होगी आपकी हॉबीज़ एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, आपके बारे में बहुत कुछ एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, आपको बहुत अलग अलग तरीके के लोगों से मिलवाती होगी. मतलब आपको ना बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर देना चाह रही है आपकी लाइफ, ठीक है. बट बिकॉज योर आइडिया दैट नो आई गेट ओनली कंप्लीट वंस आई हैव माई पार्टनर इज देयर, तो आप कहीं ना कहीं वो एक्सपोजर को देख ही नहीं पा रहे हो जो लाइफ आपको ऑफर कर रही है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू आर नॉट एबल टू सी दैट, एंड दिस इज वेयर I think in this particular month you will start understanding that yes, life kind of needs to be beyond it. You need to be neutral about it. है तो अच्छा है, नहीं है तो भी अच्छा है, जब होगा तो भी अच्छा होगा. That's how you need to see it. Coming to your relationships, if in your relationship, or if the idea of basically being in a relationship or being with somebody was like the ulterior or the ultimate idea for you, मे बी ऐसा हो सकता है अगर उसके चक्कर में आपने अपने थोड़े फ्रेंड्स को कट ऑफ कर लिया हो, आपने फैमिली को इतना टाइम नहीं दिया हो, यू बिकेम वेरी सेल्फ कंज्यूम्ड बाय योर पर्सन. Now in this month you might actually realize that you need a mix of people in your life. It's not just about that one person, you need other people as well. So ऐसा करके you will get a lot of insights and understanding and wisdom definitely about love and life is what I'm seeing in this particular month. अपने इमोशंस को भी लेके काफ़ी सारे इंसाइट्स मिलेंगे, अपने आप को बेटर समझने का एक चांस मिलेगा इस मंथ में. ओके, कमिंग टू the predictive analysis, or what at least the basis of the cards that I have here, not a great period for love, which is funny because the Valentine's Day ka month hai na, which also means that singles might resonate more with this message, of people if just broken up, you're going to be grieving over the fact that there's nobody in your life. And I genuinely feel very sad when I'm saying this and when I'm seeing this. And I know pop culture is trying to do all sort of galentines, that girls will go out and like have their valentines, and I don't know if there's something called boyentines, but yeah. But I do understand that one relationship cannot necessarily replace the need of another relationship. Okay, but I do see that this is going to be a tough month where some of you are going to be grieving about either a breakup that has happened and it's going to be painful and hurtful to you. You would be constantly thinking about that throughout the month. Or if you've been single, if you are single, you're not going to be very happy with your single status this month. In my head, I'm constantly hearing, there's this one episode in Friends in which Rachel says, oh, I want somebody. I'm so happy just to have been flung also, it's fine even if it's a fling, even if it's not a long-term relationship, but I genuinely want to be with somebody. So I'm kind of getting that vibe that I just want to be with someone right now is what I'm getting. But another message that I'm getting is, sorry, I have a knot in my hair. The another message that I'm getting is that even if you would try to go out and meet people, or you would try and make that effort, especially for people who are single, I think you're going to be very conflicted in regards to what is it that you seek. A, either you will not like anybody, or B, you will just feel that yeah, everybody is great, but then oh my god, am I even clear in my head that what is it that I seek? And this is where I have this other message for you, which is awakening. and connecting it back to the insights and wisdom message that I gave you regarding love, what I'm seeing is that you are going to develop better common sense, because we all know common sense is not common these days, and you're going to develop better connection with your own mind and body and try and understand yourself and your instincts also better. तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है, suppose you meet somebody and then you realize within the first meeting only that they don't seem like the right fit, and instead of maybe the narrative becoming they are not the right fit, you might understand that what, I think something is trying to tell me that I'm not very clear in terms of what I see. And this is exactly where you would learn to trust your instinct a little bit more. And then I do see you taking active steps towards it, okay? If you're in a relationship, somehow this doesn't seem like a great lovey-dovey month. Kind of just feels as if the expectations are not going to be met. That's all I'm hearing right now, so I'll keep it to that, okay? Or maybe there are just too many expectations, or there's just a need of there's this need of coming together with your partner in a particular manner, but I don't see that happening, and hence that being a disappointment to you, okay? So that's what I have for you. Coming to work, honestly, great month for work. Yeah, I think your work is really going to flourish, especially if you're somebody who's into doing their own thing or who's into some skill based work. And I know everything is a skill. What I mean is some specific skill, like if you're into coding, if you are into handmade something, if you're into strategy, if you're into consulting, if it is some very niche skill, this is going to be a great month, because this is also going to be a month where you're going to be polishing your skills more. You might sign up for some short course, short workshop, which will make your skill or enhance your skill, you know. So this is a great month for work. What I also see is that this month, maybe some of you are also probably starting a new job. If you're not starting a new job, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, you're going to be absolutely loving your work this month. You will thoroughly enjoy doing what you do for work, from where you bring your money. You would love it. Also, if you're not doing anything right now, because I know some people are in between jobs, some people are looking for jobs, I think by this month you would have it figured. What is it that is your true calling? What is it that you truly want to do? And how it is that you want to take your life forward when it comes to your career and work. And maybe this is also where the awakening card comes into the picture to talk about that. Yes, the realizations are going to happen now. And the wisdom of what is it that you can do for the next 10 years, from which you would not feel like moving away, you would not feel like deviating away. That is going to come to you within this month. So honestly, it's a wonderful month for work. I also see inflow of money. If somebody has been waiting on certain payments, or if somebody has been waiting on any sort of money coming, then it's going to be coming your way. A nudge might be needed. So you might have to nudge the person who owes you money, or who nudge the companies where the payments are due, and that's how it's going to happen. While it's going to be a great period for work and you're going to love what you do, what I'm also sensing is immense stress. एक्चुअली क्या है ना, जब ऐसे अवेकनिंग हो रही होती है या इतनी सारी चीज़ें इकट्ठे रियलाइज़ हो रही होती हैं, उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना ना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. और ये तो साल भी ऐसा ही है. इफ़ यू वॉच्ड माई अदर वीडियोज़ विच इज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट द एनर्जीज ऑफ सैटर्न फॉर पर्टिकुलर बर्थ डेट्स ऑल्सो, देन ओवरऑल ओनली द baseline for everything is that Saturn is just about hard work. Saturn keeps on demanding you to work hard. So अब वर्क हार्ड सिर्फ एक डोमेन में नहीं होता ना. डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आपका सैटर्न आपके नेटल चार्ट में कहाँ बैठा है, कौन सा डोमेन आपकी लाइफ का इस साल ज़्यादा एस्पेक्ट करके उसको इफेक्ट करेगा. तो what happens is when all these realizations and new changes they come together, और for this particular pile तो मुझे love काफ़ी कुछ चीज़ों को देखकर लग रहा है उसका burden थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाता है, because it's just like poof, ये सब कुछ ही बताना पड़ेगा क्या, या ये सब कुछ ही समझना पड़ेगा क्या, या ये सब कुछ ही इकट्ठे अभी क्यों आ रहा है, just simple statements like that also is something that might be like a theme for you this month, कि सब इकट्ठे क्यों आ रहा है, इतना overwhelming क्यों हो गया सब कुछ. तो थोड़ा सा डेलीगेशन समझना पड़ेगा, प्रायोरिटाइजिंग समझनी पड़ेगी इस मंथ. थोड़ा ये समझना पड़ेगा दैट maybe some months are like that. Some months is where you have to take double the responsibility and you can't crib about it, you just have to do it. But at the same time, know what is important. Like if you look at this card, like we don't even know if the person can see what's in front or not. So at least have that clarity of vision कि अच्छा ठीक है, 50 responsibility, maybe I can multitask, but करना क्यों है? What is the ultimate goal? What is it that I want to have achieved by the end of the month? तो थोड़ा वो समझ के करना. Couple of last messages that I have for you here is, first is this beautiful card of temperance. Overall अगर देखा जाए ना, while I know I've spoken a lot about wisdom, discord in relationships, or probably grieving over some relationship, over responsibility, but coming back to finding your balance is going to be very, very, very important. Some sort of meditative ritual, taking out 5 minutes daily to maybe spend some time just realigning that yes, I have done what I could have today. Just writing down your thoughts, journaling. I think all this is going to be very important for you in this month. Otherwise, there's a very strong chance that you might become imbalanced. You might just feel that you're all over the place. It's all overwhelming and way too emotional. And honestly, in this month, I don't really see any sort of external support coming and like really understanding your mindset, because you would also not really know how to express it to somebody. Okay, in fact मुझे ऐसा भी लग रहा है कुछ लोग अगर इसको balanced नहीं करके चलेंगे, they can really fall into that rabbit hole of just negative thinking. So anything daily for 5 minutes that just puts you in that mode, that that mode of like feeling grounded, feeling in touch with life, knowing why we are doing what we are doing, feeling in touch with your body. That's going to be very important. Sabse simple, if you can now, maybe just do like 20 pranayam and you're going to be sorted. Okay, so that's the message that I have. And now the last card that I have, which is the card of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One message, I don't know, did I say it earlier or not, but definitely some people are going to be making friends this month, and there is a need to spend money to make friends. Meaning that, you might have to go and participate out in activities, you might have to actively encourage yourself and those people that you meet, hey, let's go grab coffee, let's do this, let's do that. And because of which, you might just also feel ki, am I doing it right? Like, are these going to be the right people, etc., etc. But yes, definitely you're going to add on more associations and friendships to your life in this month. Will it be right or not? I would say that right now, at least from this, I'm not getting an answer. So maybe just take it slow. Because from the Justice card here, again, it's all like karmic relationships. Just take it slow. Okay? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the card here talks about, it's all about being compassionate in your nature. And compassion, of course, towards other people, which is absolutely very important. So especially for people who are grieving or who are healing from something or who have a lot of expectations from their partner. And at least as per the predictions, it seems that, you might get disappointed somewhere here and there. It's important to have compassion towards the other person also. Not be very I, me, myself. Understand, what they or the other person could also be going through. I spoke of cosmic love and divine love. That's also another blessings that's coming as one of the messages in the card, which is that love of God and humanity. It's important that you actually, I would say that, it's not about I, me, myself. I should have actually said this earlier. Because the message that I was getting earlier is kind of like getting repeated now, that don't be very I, me, myself, what I feel, what I want to do. I think things work out better when you're also collaborating with people around you, with the universe around you, and acknowledging people around you. Like suppose, when we said that we are going and meeting people, if you are being judgy straight up, and if you're being like, oh, you know what, I'm not really sure, they were not right for me. That's exactly, where we are going wrong. Because A, we are not being compassionate. B, we are not really understanding कि उस person की भी तो खुद की journey है, उसका भी तो कुछ है. वो तुम्हारे लिए शायद सही ना हो, but तुम्हें वो clarity है कि तुम्हें exactly चाहिए क्या. Are you able to answer वो सही क्यों नहीं है? What do you find wrong in them? तो थोड़ा सा ना इनवर्ड्स टर्न करने की ज़रूरत है, इंस्टेड ऑफ आई मी माई सेल्फ या मैं अप्रोच में जाके आसपास जो है सबको डिस नहीं करना है. ओके, दैट्स वन ऑफ द मैसेजेस दैट आई हैव. Charity and service is another message in this card, which honestly, I just feel is just going to be a repetitive message throughout the year, because Saturn is, I mean, the year 2024 being the year of Saturn is anyway such a planet. So whatever you want in terms of any sort of charity that you can do, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा बाहर जाके नहीं कर सकते, अगर आप अपनी हेल्प को ही बाय एंड द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द मंथ और बाय द एंड ऑफ द मंथ इफ यू कैन गिव हर समथिंग, आई थिंक दैट वुड ऑल्सो जस्ट डू इट्स जॉब. And lastly, like I spoke of, that finding some sort of practice in finding your balance. So ये वाली जो चीज़ है ना, ये ऐसी नहीं है कि बस ऐसे सुना और कर लिया. अगर हम ये शुरू करेंगे, if we start with any sort of ritual or any sort of practice, which is about centering ourselves, promise yourself to be at least consistent for 2 weeks and try to achieve perfectionism in that. So that is becoming very important here. Some of you may actually start, focusing on physical activity and physical fitness also in this month. Yeah, and some of you may actually also plan like a short travel this month. That is also a message that I'm getting. Short travel, physical activity, physical fitness, or trying. जब बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिव माइंडसेट हो जाता है, टू बी अ लिटिल चाइल्ड लाइक, और मुझे लगता है उसी के चक्कर में यू माइट बी लाइक, ओके चलो लेट मी कैच अप विद अ फ्रेंड और लेट मी प्लान अ डेट और वट एवर. दैट्स व्हाई यू माइट कम बैक मे बी नॉट फीलिंग कम्प्लीटली कि अरे वो इमोशनल कनेक्शन नहीं है, बट चल ठीक है, जस्ट फॉर अ चेंज ऑफ माइंड. So you need to have a chat with yourself, what's important to you right now. If just refreshing of mind is important, then okay, you don't need to seek emotional connection in every relationship maybe that you have in your life. Some can be for some different needs. However, if you're strongly seeking an emotional connection, then maybe you need to be more mindful when you're going and meeting out in people and when you're trying to date people. Alright, so that was it, this pile for you. Let me just check. Yeah, but overall I think this is going to be a month which is going to be a good month. Like it'll be a month where you would feel that things are going to be moving for you. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ stuck रहेगा. चीज़ें in fact जल्दी ही होंगी. Maybe that's why you're going to be so overwhelmed and just all over the place that, oh my god, there's just so much happening. It'll be a fast moving month for this pile. So yeah, that was it, pile number 2. If any part of it resonated, please do comment below and let me know. I'm trying to grow my channel, so your comments really help. Thanks. Bye. Hi, all those who have chosen the third pile, which is Shri Krishna. This is your reading. I'll explain you the meaning of this card in the end, but first 2 quick things. That if we so I have 2 cards here. One is of course Shri Krishna, and the second card that I have is the card of the Fool. And I don't know if you know anything about the life of Shri Krishna, but he was generally known as being the most notorious one, constantly in a playful energy, was somewhat okay, not sticking to values, was okay lying a little bit. And the Fool energy is also, in tarot is the energy of being playful, taking things light, being a little bit okay with new risks, new terrains, new things, new changes in your life also. So the first message that I have immediately on seeing this is definitely that you need to be in the energy of being playful, being fun, taking things light. All right. And it's very interesting. The other message that I don't know how many people will this relate to with, but you need to be nurturing. And I will just let this message be here till now, and I'll add on to it as and when I receive more message. But there's a need to be more nurturing. There is a need to be more accepting, and there is a need to give more love, or give the love that you seek. Okay, so we'll keep this message holding with us for now, and I'll add on to it later as and when I receive something else. So okay, couple of quick few messages. What I'm getting is there is some sort of emotional conflict going on. We don't know if you're happy, we don't know if you're upset. Life feels fine from the looks of it, but then something doesn't feel fine. That's what I'm kind of hearing and seeing. I mean, getting a message when I'm seeing these cards. And I was not stuttering so much when I was reading the other two piles. I was quite clear on the messages. Here I seem to be stuttering a bit, as if people in this pile are having a lot of difficulty expressing what they seek and what they desire. I don't think this pile is very clear on their own emotions and their own life right now. Okay, I am kind of getting, and also, this card and this card is kind of also showing me that there is a lot of defensiveness in this pile when it comes to your life. I also feel, when I said that, you need to be more nurturing, you need to be more loving, maybe some of you might have gone like, but I'm already nurturing and loving. That happened, right? So, why I'm saying this is because I'm also getting this feeling of being very defensive immediately, uh, which delays the process of seeking whatever message you have to. So suppose if somebody is trying to tell you, hey, you did not clean this properly yesterday, can you at least clean this properly today? And if instead of being defensive, you said, oh, okay, sure, how would you like me to clean it? We have already moved past the conversation and we are now understanding how do we clean that particular thing better so that both the parties involved are okay with it. Instead, if you become defensive, if you become like, oh, but I always clean it, this is the only way to clean it, it's, to me, like, it's almost like wasting time, and somehow making yourself miserable and the other person also miserable. So that is the kind of message that I'm getting here, that losing defense is something that you would have to really practice quite a lot this month. Okay, now mixed messages in regards to emotions. Definitely things are fine, and funnily I was getting this message when I saw the card of Sri Krishna and Fool, that okay, so basically February is going to be a month where things may be great, they may not be great, life will keep on happening. You are just being told to look at the lighter side, to just be playful in whatever things are happening, be light in those, don't overstress yourself with anything too much. And now what I'm getting is that, more than life happening, it's your emotions just being like, oh, but I really don't know, like there's this itch of like this restlessness that no, I just know that things are not completely great, but they are not bad. I don't have anything to complain about, but at the same time, somewhere in my heart, things don't feel right. And fortunately, it's not showing me any signs of depression or anxiety or anything like that. This is just a general discontentment with life, a general dissatisfaction with life. Okay, that's what I'm getting. So that is going to be a theme that's going to continue for you in the month of February. And on the outset, honestly, things are going to be very nice emotionally. You will feel more emotionally balanced. You would feel like, you're being taken care of. There are enough people who love you. And, like, of course, if you talk about the life of Sri Krishna, no matter how notorious he was, people still adored him, they still loved him. They tolerated quite a lot of his nonsense. But of course, you are not Sri Krishna. You're not living that same life, which means that we are living in the times where other people also have expectations of us. And that is why the card of nurturance is coming. Balance is in giving back what you receive, in knowing how to give back what you seek from the other person. So that is something that you would have to, I think, master, or at least start learning this month onwards. Because everybody's ideal situation would be that, of course, I want to be the center of attraction and I want to have it all for me. But then so is the expectation of the other person and the other people in your life. So you would need to understand that how do you bring that balance where you are not just a taker but also a giver. Okay, that's one message that I have. Continuing with your other messages, this month is going to be a lot of self-realization and A lot of your desires are going to come up to surface, what you want, what you desire, how you see your life, the action that you might have to take for it. You may not take any action is what I'm getting, but at least, like, things would start becoming a little bit more clear. You would start kind of questioning yourself a lot this month, and you would also want to be very careful of how you are being seen by people, like, how do people see you? I have to be a little bit honest here, frankly. मुझको ना थोड़ी सी लाला लैंड टाइप वाइब्स आ रही है इस पाइल से, पता है मुझे लाला लैंड टाइप वाइब कैसी आ रही है? मे बी जैसे ऐसे बैठे बैठे हाँ बस कुछ भी कंप्लेन कर दी, या बैठे बैठे किसी भी चीज़ के लिए हम लाइफ को लेके थोड़ा सा अपसेट ज़्यादा हो गए, रिएक्टिव ज़्यादा हो गए, ड्रामेटिक ज़्यादा हो गए, बट इतना कुछ बुरा है ही नहीं. एंड व्हेन वी आर ट्राइंग टू मे बी मेक समबडी एल्स इन आवर लाइफ अंडरस्टैंड, बट आई एम गोइंग थ्रू अ रियल प्रॉब्लम, दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. तो मुझे ना थोड़ा सा वो लाला लैंड फीलिंग भी ज़्यादा आ रहा है इस फाइल के साथ. सो आई वुड टेल यू टू बी अ लिटिल बिट वेरी ऑफ इट. एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो वेर इट कम्स टू दैट मैसेज ऑफ श्री कृष्ण एंड the energy of the fool, which is that you should not seem silly. There's a difference between seeming silly and seeming playful. Playful is one thing, but if you overdo it, you might come across as looking silly, looking childish, looking entitled. And honestly, nobody in today's age and time, for that matter, wants to entertain people like that. So this is something you would have to be a little bit wary of. A lot of confusion regarding your own self, who you are, etc. might come up to surface. ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमें काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें अपने बारे में रियलाइज़ हो रही हूँ, हम थोड़ा एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना चाह रहे हैं, हम थोड़ा डिफाइंग स्टेट में हैं, हमें लग रहा है ऑटोमेटिकली लाइफ ऐसी ही चलती रहेगी, अभी तक भी तो मैं यहाँ पहुँच ही गया हूँ इन सच अ लॉन्ग वाइल, विद वॉट एवर इट हैज़ बीन. बट नाउ इसको पर्जिंग कहते हैं, वेयर अ लॉट ऑफ योर ओल्ड इमोशंस, things that you had maybe not accepted about yourself, things that you should have actually seen about yourself, are going to come up to the surface. So some things might be very hard hitting for you also, which again might make you slightly more lala landish, because of course I can understand realizing too much negativity, or too much, forget negativity, too many things about yourself also can be very overwhelming. Oh my god, ye kya ho gaya? So but the message still remains that take it slow and keep on realizing these things. These things are important because they are going to be paving the way for your future. इसके बिना कुछ नहीं होगा. This message is just repeating on all the piles. So I'll just give this message and be done away with it, which is that yes, you need to also start doing some sort of donations this month. Obviously, one of the messages that I have for you is definitely that you need to be more nurturing and more loving towards your relationships, towards the people in your life. It's your time right now to give back the nurturance. It's not the time to take, it's the time to give. Okay, and I think this is going to be a realization you would have in this month. And because ऐसा नहीं है month on month हमारी ऐसी realization change होती रहती है. It needs to change who we are foundationally as a person. So you need to become a giver in a balanced sense. Okay, that's what I'm getting. And the second message that I'm getting is, if there's any sort of charity work that you can do, any place where you can go and get do some sort of volunteering, I think that would be very beneficial for you. Okay, this is something that you must do this month. Okay, coming back to the message that I was talking about, which is that जो भी purging होए, जो भी सारे questions arise होए at your foundational level, उन सबको होने दो, accept करो, have a chat with yourself, be honest to yourself, accept things for yourself. Forward movement उसी से ही होगी. नहीं करेंगे, डिनाइल में रहेंगे, यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट अ न्यू आउटकम विद ओल्ड मेथडोलॉजी ऑफ डूइंग एनीथिंग, राइट? सो इफ योर ओल्ड मेथडोलॉजी would have worked for you, it would have worked for you. This would not have been the message that I'm getting in this file. So clearly it has not worked, means things need to change, and the world does not change, you change. That's when the things shift around you. So that is what we need to understand. Two other messages that I have here is, have a little faith and humility. And you know what, again I will come back to this message. I know usually people don't like to hear, oh I'm not defensive, oh I'm very self-critical, हम सबको लगता है हम सब कुछ ज़्यादा ही अच्छे हैं, करेक्ट, बट ऐसा नहीं होता है, बिकॉज कभी कभार हमारी बहुत डीपेस्ट डार्केस्ट साइड्स होती हैं, जो सच में ही एक्सेप्ट करना मुश्किल हो जाता है। तो शायद ये मैसेज थोड़ा उसी के लिए है, थोड़ी सी ह्यूमिलिटी की भी ज़रूरत है। मुझे ना इस पाइल के लिए ऐसा लग रहा है, I don't know if you will accept it or not, and if you resonate with this now, please do comment and let me know, because it's more of an intuitive message that I'm also getting, that there is an underlying tone of arrogance and confidence, and I don't know, I'm not getting a better word for arrogance, but just say थोड़ा ना underlying tone of like superiority है, superiority complex है, and I don't mean it कि maybe you use this to demean other people or you use this to hurt other people, but like I'm a cut above the rest, मैं औरों से better हूँ, मैं थोड़ा अलग ही हूँ, नहीं मेरा थिंकिंग अलग है, मेरा ये अलग है, मेरा नज़रिया अलग है, नहीं मेरी लाइफ की चॉइसेस हैव बीन बेटर, लाइक मैं अलग हूँ। थोड़ा ना मुझे वैसी वाली एनर्जी आ रही है कि हम अपने आप को थोड़ा ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट समझते हैं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही अलग समझते हैं, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच देयर इज एन अंडरटोन ऑफ लाइक सुपीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड दैट एरोगेंस slightly coming in the way when we talk about us, which honestly is just stemming from deep insecurities and our denial and our inability to accept few things about us. Okay, like if you truly understand how emotions work, then you might understand that how this entire thing spans out also. तो एक बहुत important message आपके लिए इस month ये भी है, which is humility. Allow me, the divine, to always accept right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. तो thoda humility obviously around other people also, plus another message is also that I don't know if this file believes in praying, if they believe in like the power of universe, have they ever even folded hands in front of God? I think it's time that you do that. And if there's a mandir in your house, if there's a puja that happens regularly or whenever in your house, I think it's important that you start folding your hands in front of God. If you don't believe in God and you're an atheist, maybe you just start folding your hands to the universe every morning before you, like right after you wake up. I think it's going to be very important. एक मैसेज डेफिनेटली वो है, थोड़ा श्रद्धा बढ़ाने की ज़रूरत है इन वॉट एवर थिंग्स यू वॉन्ट टू बिलीव. एंड दूसरा मैसेज ना डेफिनेटली आई एम गेटिंग अराउंड arrogance. You are not better than everybody else. It's good to have confidence, but how can you turn this confidence into wisdom? It will turn into wisdom, and we can also accept our shortcomings and we can work on it, and we can continue to be in this energy of constantly making us better, तो थोड़ा ना वो पर्सपेक्टिव शिफ्ट होने की ज़रूरत है, that things are great, I accept it, but I always have a scope for improvement. That's, I think, something that you need to understand. Okay, I just want to pull out few cards. Okay, people who are single in this pile, what I'm getting as a message is that I don't see anything great happening on the romantic front, at least this month. Okay, इंस्टेड व्हाट आई काइंड ऑफ फील इज कि आपको जो थोड़े बहुत लोग मिलेंगे भी ना, आपको कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगेगा वो आपके स्टेटस के नहीं है, विच इज अगेन ब्रिंगिंग मी टू ह्यूमिलिटी. वो आपकी मेंटल वेवलेंथ मैच नहीं करते हैं, लाइक, एंड स्टेटस कैन बी बोथ फाइनेंशियल एंड मेंटल एंड इमोशनल. So that is going to be like a predominant theme for you this month. You will just feel that, I'm just stuck around wrong people. I'm just stuck around these people where nobody understands me. And this is where you would probably have to do your own emotional regulation as well, and you would have to like bring balance into the situation. You will have to see that, okay, अब single तो हूँ, उसके apart from that, what is it that I can do, and learn to be basically neutral about your relationship status. Coming on to the work front, what I'm getting as a message is that this is the month where you would finally maybe start having the conversations about what next. Okay, if you're in a job, I do see that maybe this is a month where the feeling of like let's switch job would become very prominent. इफ यूर न्यूली इन अ जॉब ऑल्सो एंड क्विटिंग इज नॉट ऑन योर माइंड, तो शायद आपको ना इस मंथ में वो कॉन्वर्सेशन आप अपने साथ करने लगो कि यार मुझे करना क्या है आगे, मुझे नेक्स्ट 5 years में क्या करना है, नेक्स्ट 6 years में क्या करना है, वॉट इज द इंडस्ट्री, वॉट इज द फील्ड दैट आई नीड टू बी पिकिंग, वेयर इट इज दैट आई नीड टू बी स्टिकिंग अराउंड फॉर लॉन्गर. So those are the conversations you are definitely going to have with yourself this month. If you're self-employed or if you're planning to start something new, this is going to be a good period for planning. It's both going to be a good period for planning, and I think you will just utilize this entire month only for planning and having like a lot of self-talk with yourself, understanding what is it that you truly want and how can things happen for you. Financial थोड़ी दिक्कत रहेगी. अगर आप खुद का काम कर रहे हैं, फ्रीलांसर हैं और यू वांट टू स्टार्ट समथिंग न्यू, यू मे फील दैट द फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट इज नॉट रियली देयर इन द मैनर दैट यू वांट. थोड़ा ना मुझे यहाँ पे फाइनेंशियल स्कार्सिटी भी लग रहा है, विच इज सो वियर्ड. अगर मेंटली हमें वो फाइनेंशियल स्कार्सिटी है बट समहाउ हमारे को ह्यूमिलिटी का भी मैसेज आ रहा है, दैट मीन्स इट्स डेफिनेटली समथिंग दैट वी नीड टू फिक्स इन आवरसेल्व्स ना. मतलब जो हमारे वैल्यूज है, हमारा आउटलुक है, वो थोड़ा हिल गया है, इट्स नॉट अलाइंड. सो that is a message that you need to take with you. In case you're in a job, I would say this is a good time to start looking out for new jobs, unless you've already joined some place new. But हाँ, this is a good time to start looking out. ऐसा हो सकता है इस टाइम पे जो offers आए वो थोड़े सही ना आए, तो maybe you need to wait it out for a lot more longer before you start getting like the right offer. ऐसा भी हो सकता है आपको डेस्परेशन में कोई एक ऐसी जॉब पिक करनी पड़े विच इज़ नॉट रियली पेइंग यू दैट वेल, बट यू जस्ट टेल योरसेल्फ दैट इट्स ओके, फाइन, व्हाटएवर, आई विल जस्ट डू इट. In your mind it might also be like that, let me do it for like a short period of time and then I'll switch. So that is also something that I'm seeing here. Okay, now coming on to the last card, actually the first card that you chose, which is the card of Shri Krishna. It's a beautiful card, by the way. Love it. And see, when I spoke of nurturance, usually अगर हम कृष्ण या किसी की बात करते हैं तो either they are depicted like मस्ती करते हुए या सब उनको प्यार कर रहे हैं, but in this particular image that you see, it's actually the God loving the cows, the animals, and this is exactly where the message of nurturance becomes even more stronger, that you need to be the one who's actually more nurturing towards others, at least from this period onwards. Okay. Now, the messages that I have from this one is sense of humor. Of course, we discussed that about the playful energy when it comes to the Fool card as well. You will find success in loving relationships. Yes, that I also see here, especially with these two cards. What I'm kind of getting as a message is that especially if you're in a romantic relationship, of course, you also need to be equally nurturing. You also need to be giving. And I think then predictably you might be already planning to do that this month. So it will be a good success for you. There'll be a good balance when it comes to romantic relationships for those who are in a relationship and those who are married. And universal love and charity, no wonder there was this card of charity. I think it's important that if you can, at least for this month, चाहे आप अपनी domestic help को ही दो, even if you don't want to go out and do something big, but just put some money aside to help someone in need. And lastly, carefree attitude towards life. I think I said this statement in the starting, if I'm not wrong, कि life जैसे चल रही है वैसी चलती रहेगी. I can't recall my exact statement, but basically ना throughout the month की energy थोड़ी ऐसी है that life will just keep on happening. And while it may go through its ups and downs, you just have to keep a slightly more chill attitude towards everything. So yes, that's it for you for the month of February 2024. Pile number 3. Let me know how it resonates. If any part of it resonated, any part of it you want that should come true, please do comment below and let me know. And do comment below because that helps me in growing my channel. So all comments are appreciated always. Thanks. Bye.